Hey friends, I'm Corina and happy Monday. Today we're talking all about baby step 0. Now that we know that we need a budget, let's take a look at how we get started. We're going to be using Dave Ramsey's financial plan of the baby steps, which is what my husband and I use to get out of debt and to create financial freedom in our lives. So let's get started. So Dave Ramsey suggests starting with baby step 0, which is your 4 walls. So the 4 walls of your home include shelter and utilities. So rent and rent or your mortgage, and then whatever utilities, water, sewer, power, etc. Next of the 4 walls, so number 2 of the 4 walls, is food. So making sure that you have food in your home. The third is clothing. You need to make sure that you have clothing, whether it's clothing to wear to work or your kids' clothing to wear to school. And the fourth is transportation. So making sure that you have money to put gas in your car, that your car is working, or if you need to take public transportation, that you have accounted for and allocated money to spend for that. Once you've taken care of those 4 walls, because those are your 4 basic necessities, you can get started with the financial plan and with moving forward in creating financial peace in your home. Now, I do have a few tips to share with you regarding baby step 0. And that's what I'm excited to share with you today. So how do you get started with baby step 0? I know when we were looking at our finances and getting started with this plan, you look at it, or at least we looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, let's get started right now. We're gonna just go ahead and pay off a credit card as fast as we can. But really, if you run straight towards, if you start running the race without warming up and without getting prepared, then you're going to physically stress your body out and just not be prepared for the race. So that's why you want to make sure that your 4 walls are taken care of, that things are in place, and that you're not going to be struggling, that the power company is not going to come turn your lights off because you're over here paying off a credit card. So my 3 tips to help you get started with baby step 0 is 1, to look at your expenses. See what you're spending money on. Look at the past month or the past week or the past 3 months worth of expenses and see where your expenses are. What is your, what is your lighting bill like for the past 3 months? How much do you spend on groceries? Can you spend less? Do you need to spend more? Is the amount you're spending perfect for you? What do you spend on gas? You need to make sure that all of these different things are accounted for and have a specific place in your budget before you start moving forward on anything else in your budget. As far as clothing goes, we'll talk more about this at a different time, but I suggest a sinking fund for clothing. Because unless your clothing is falling apart at the seams, in baby step 0 you don't need to run out and buy new clothing. But as new seasons come and things change in your lives, maybe you gain weight or lose weight, or maybe you get pregnant, you're going to need new clothes. And even if none of those things happen, just going through life, your clothes are going to wear out and you're going to have to replace them eventually. So you'll want to create a sinking fund to allocate and to fund those purchases. So the second thing that I recommend as a part of baby step 0 is committing to no new debt. Once you've committed to this process, you want to run forward after you having warmed up in the best way that you can. So that means not accruing any more new debt because that will really just take you back in your journey. And the final thing that I recommend, the final step or tip that I have to get started with baby step 0 is to identify opportunities of excess. So where in your spending habits do you have excess? One huge expense that we had was cable. We didn't really watch any of the cable channels. We weren't even really using our TiVo or DVR service because honestly we weren't home very much. And so when we were home, we would watch a movie or we would just watch something on Netflix, and that was really easy to just grab and watch that rather than looking up a whole series or tracking down a show and seeing what time a show played and things like that. So we just found that we weren't using cable. So it made sense for us to cut that out and to cut down on our expenses by cutting out cable. And we've just gone to an internet service. Another thing that's a huge one for me personally is coffee. So I am more than happy to run to Starbucks every day of my life if I could. But I know that that's an extra expense that has to come from somewhere in our budget. So I can use my personal money on that now, but I knew that cutting down on how many times I was going to get coffee would help our budget. So those are my tips for getting started with baby step 0. I hope that you're excited about this journey and that you are ready for tomorrow's video where we talk about different types of budgets that will work for you. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more videos just like this. I'll talk to you soon.